the question of the year. What are your hopes with new technology, particularly AI in medicine, and what are your fears?
Me and Soroush have talked about this quite a lot, especially before this conference, because AI is scary. AI is scary for us as well, especially for the diagnosis part. Even if you ask ChatGPT now, most of the questions there was a study that came out for AI, and it hit, I think it was 85th percentile. So that's better than most people that studying medicine once they finish. I was like, wow. But what's one thing that the AI can't do? The one thing that it can't do is it can't be human. It can't sit there and hold someone's hand and tell them, I'm next to you and I'm here for you. And that for me is incredible. And that's why I think there is going to be a shift. There is going to be a shift towards the things that differentiate us from AI. Because again, AI is not something incredible. We need to have the knowledge. I'm not decreasing the importance of the scientific knowledge, because you have to have a person there to make sure whatever it says is correct. But at the end of the day, the thing that differentiates us from the AI is our human nature. And there is going to be, I think, more of a focus on that and incorporating AI as a tool that will help us be much better clinicians. And we can see this with radiology already. Like, there's so many studies going on about AI that recognizes stuff and pins it out. And then the radiologist can just go, okay, I didn't quite see that. Or like tools that will help us. I don't think they'll replace us, but they'll definitely help us be better, have a better knowledge of the science and of the diagnosis. But one thing that it won't help us is being better humans. So that's where a lot of work, I think, it's going to start happening.
Andreas says that we're scared of AI, which we are a little bit, but we actually also use it all the time. So in our studies, I'd say honestly, ChatGPT has probably helped me learn medicine a lot more than my lectures. That's me being honest, because you can literally ask it anything you want, and it's actually so good that most of the time, I think probably in my experience, all of the time, it's answered correctly and it's answered exactly the specific question you have. And the good thing about AI is you can ask it, if you're like me and you ask 100 million questions, it won't get impatient with you. It'll carry on, it'll carry on answering your questions. Can't say the same about a busy consultant on boards. But I think that I always used to ask myself this through med school. One thing that really disengaged me is the thought of, well, right now I feel like a robot that is being programmed with information. And, it's a 6-year programming, and by the end, I'll be a fully functional robot and I'll be able to diagnose everything correctly. And, I might be a bit dysfunctional, and then I need to study a bit more, reboot the programming, and then I can go back out. I do think, honestly, I think that if it's about tasks and it's about information, it's about knowledge, it's about recognizing patterns, all that, AI can do way better than humans can. Way better. They're already way better at doing that than we are. Never mind 100 years into the future. So I think we really do need to sit down and think, well, what is it that, again, we can do, that we do, that makes the patient feel better, that the AI can't accomplish. It's like what Andreas said, at the end of the day, AI is AI. It's just not going to be human. Maybe it's going to get very good at mimicking a human, but we need to figure out what it is about that essence of being a human that it can never replace. And that's what we need to hit. I think that's what we need to focus on. That's what we need to take to the universities. What needs to be weaved into our education. I think that will engage us a lot more as well. That will make us better practitioners, and it will improve the patient experience a lot as well.
One thing that we already said before, and one word I believe is important, is the creativity word. So ChatGPT and other AI tools can only to a certain point be as creative as we can. And although it can help us and give us ideas of research and trying to understand what we can do more, there are some ideas that just pop into our heads when we are in the shower or just talking to someone. AI will not be able to do that.
How frequently do you think about AI and your future profession?
I use it every day, and it's helped me be much more efficient, much more productive. Although I said it's scary, I'm not scared of it though. I think it's a tool. I think it can be used to do a lot of harm, not only in the healthcare area, but in all areas. But it also can be a very powerful tool that can transform humanity, literally. And we've seen it happen. I think it's one of the greatest inventions or progress that we've made in the technology area in the last 200, 300 years. It's crazy. And we're seeing this now, how every field is being transformed so rapidly. So I'm excited. I think that's my answer. I'm excited. Because I know that it cannot be human, hopefully.
I think about it all the time, I think about it all the time. What was that C.S. Lewis quote?
If education is not coupled with virtues, it's like making a man a more clever devil.
Something like that. And I think it's true. I think AI is made to be as the optimal learner. It's meant to be kind of the way better than us at doing that. So, like Andreas said, it can be used as a tool, but we need to make sure that we're sharpening this tool in the good ways and not in the bad. I think as a medical student, well, yeah, I think about it all the time because I think, well, how exactly is this not going to replace what we do? I used to think all the time, well, if these operational jobs are the kind of jobs that AI can do well, then maybe it's the creative fields like art and this and that it can never replace. But to my shock and disappointment, there's AI art now where you can generate exactly what you want it to draw, and it does a really good job. So I'm like, okay, what do we do now? But when I think about that, I realize that you type in what you want it to produce and it produces it. Maybe it's very well done, very high quality, but the best art isn't necessarily the highest quality, highest definition. It's what is it that this specific person is trying to articulate, and all that ties in with their human experience, all their stories, and how have they decided to do it. Again, it's about that human and their attempt at articulating their human condition. AI doesn't have a human condition.